if you've thought about building your own workbench, I highly recommend you go and look at JordsWoodShop's recent video series on building your own Roubo style workbench. It's very easy to follow, the video series, as well as very cheap and easy to follow plans, and it's a very budget oriented workbench build. I've made one change so far. Instead of getting the press vise for the wagon vise, tail vise, whatever you want to call it, on the end, I've gone for the matching vise. It's actually designed for tail vises, matching to the big leg vise. Now, one change from Jords' plans is that this is two 2x4s wide rather than one, so a 4x4, which means you need to laminate two pieces of pine together rather than just a single piece, which does complicate things a little, but it's not that difficult. And instead of using a metal rail system underneath the workbench, as I don't have access to any metal cutting tools, I thought I'd just make some rails out of wood. On the vise chop, not block, whatever it's called, on the tail vise, I've routed two holes, or two dados I suppose. If you had access to a dado stack on your table saw or whatever, you could do it that way, but the router was the easiest way for me. And then I've cut two matching rails, just using some hardwood. This happens to be Tasmanian oak, and they will sit inside this track. No, they'll sit inside the hole in the table, and the vise will ride it like a track. Before I screw and glue everything in, I will make sure that this gets a coat of traditional wax. You use Renaissance wax, whatever lubricant you've got that is suitable for using on wood, just so that this slides very easily. So I've marked a line along the edge of the workbench, which I can now attach this first rail. I've pre-drilled and countersunk these screws so that they don't protrude out. I've got a clamp attached here holding my workbench together. This is a little tighter than it normally would be, but it does work quite well, and it has no play in it whatsoever. So this might actually be I've got a clamp attached holding the bench together, as this isn't glued in yet. But as you can see, the clamp works. The tracks work really nicely, and this is before waxing them, sanding them, whatever. And there is absolutely no play in that whatsoever. It is a little tighter than it probably should be, but that's because of the clamp applying pressure. And certainly once this is worn down and waxed, it will be a pretty smooth attach. All I need to do is line up this end piece. And there you go. A quick modification to the JordsWoodShop Roubo build without having to resort to using any sort of metal cutting gear or finding sheet metal that is appropriate.